welcome back to Vegas Weekly for Saturday, September 5th, 2020. We got a big show in store for you again today, so we want to get started without any further ado, but we do have a few ados. First of all, hit a number of milestones yesterday, believe it or not, with the channel. I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge those. We hit 1,400 subscribers. Even though that's not a huge number, there's a lot of channels out there growing and getting thousands and thousands of subs. It's a really amazing number to me, particularly that the channel continues to grow and the content essentially is just me talking about Las Vegas. So appreciate all of you who've joined us in recent weeks and those of you who continue to watch the program. And a lot of watching has happened in the history of the channel, because also on Thursday we hit 1 million minutes of viewing time. Now I'm sure there's channels out there with 1 million hours, but I'll take 1 million minutes right now. That's just kind of a neat number. So also happened on Thursday. And finally, we got our first check payment from Google the other day. We should have had it several months ago. If you're a channel and you're getting close to being monetized, or you're planning to apply to be monetized at some point, there's a lot of hoops to jump through. And the one I didn't set up properly was the whole AdSense account, which is how you get paid. They had no information on how to give me the money or the tax information that they needed. So for several months, that money accumulated and I didn't get it. And I couldn't figure out why, but we got our first payment yesterday. So I feel like an official professional YouTuber, sort of. Anyway, thanks for all those milestones. Couldn't have done any of it without you all. Another quick channel shout out this week. I want to shout out our friend Michael Movestro. Michael's been involved in Vegas and the Vegas community for many, many years. Was involved with the Vegas Bright podcast for a number of years. Very smart guy, very capable guy, does some brilliant work. Like a lot of us, hasn't been to Vegas for quite some time, but he's got his own slot machine. And so very frequently, often on a Wednesday night, he will do a little setup where he'll load up some credits and he'll let you play his virtual slot machine. And if you win, you get a free Tito. It's one of those tickets. It's not really worth anything, but it's a cool little memento. And it's really cool that he's got that slot machine. And so definitely check out his channel. I'll post a link to it in the show notes below. By the way, I won the Tito this past week, so there you go. All right, let's jump right into the news segment. We got a few things to talk about today. First up, the cranes are coming down. They're not flying anywhere, but both Circa and Resorts World, the sort of major construction on the outside of the buildings is done. So those cool little cranes that children and children at heart enjoy watching in operation are coming down. The hotel towers are basically complete on the outside. So Resorts World not planning to be open for, say, the next 9 to 12 months, but of course Circa opening up in about 60 days. So some good news there. Some more good news on the Strip. If you're a big fan of Target, and who isn't? I don't know, I'm not that big a fan, but there's a little mini Target on the Strip now, which is kind of cool. It's in that shopping center next to the MGM Grand where there's all kinds of stuff, but it's a small Target. It still has that Target personality, and of course contains a lot of the same merchandise that you might pick up at the CVS or the Walgreens, but it gives you another option. So there you go. The next time you're on the Las Vegas Strip, you can go to Target. On a sad note, the experiment that was the reopened Wynn Buffet, well, it kind of failed. When announced this week that after the Labor Day weekend, it is being closed indefinitely. Of course, it wasn't really a buffet anymore. You didn't serve yourself. It was kind of an all-you-can-eat restaurant concept. By all accounts, the food was very good. The service was very good. The price was high, but apparently the price wasn't high enough, And in the post-COVID world of social distancing, they couldn't really cram enough people into that space to make it pay. So it goes away. Sorry you didn't have a chance to check it out because it did look really good. The big news story I kind of wanted to talk about today involves the monorail, because just a few days ago, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority purchased the monorail for, I think it's only like $24 million. The monorail, of course, has been plagued by low ridership and bankruptcies and poor revenue streams for much of its existence. It goes all the way back to 1995 when a free tram was built between Bally's, the original MGM Grand, and the current MGM Grand. I rode it a few times in the day. An idea came about to just extend that line. Of course, it would then become a paid line. So the line initially ran all the way to the north to Sahara, which is where it still dead ends, with a number of stops along the way. And it never really caught on. It suffered from the fact that it didn't go that many places people wanted to go. Originally, it was supposed to be extended to downtown, which would have been handy. And of course, if it had at some point been extended to the airport, that too would have been very handy. As it was a convenient way to get to the convention center. It was a convenient mode of travel if you were staying at the Westgate or the Sahara and wanted to get to the South or Center Strip. And if you were staying at MGM and you wanted to get to the North or Center Strip, it wasn't a bad idea. But no one in their right mind was riding this thing from Harrah's to Bally's. The walk to and from the platform would have been longer than the walk on the sidewalk. So you might think that this is good news for the monorail, and maybe it is, but the LVCVA has, of course, been a part of expanding the existing convention center, already one of the largest in the world. That expansion is nearly complete, and it takes the convention center all the way out to the Strip, where the old Riviera Hotel and Casino stood. As part of that project, they're working with Elon Musk and his Boring Corporation, an interesting name, because the project involves a series of tunnels, which include little cars that will transport people around the enormous convention center and eventually to both Wynn and Resorts World. Now, when the monorail was built, one of the conditions of putting this thing together was that the city basically had a no-compete clause for the company that built the monorail. In other words, no one else could put any sort of public transportation, at least on the east side of the Strip. So, in order to protect their investment. And that remains in effect. So, there has been speculation that if this tunnel system is effective, that it might be extended to other properties further to the south on the Strip, or even further to the north. And of course, it would be much more convenient because you would be right on the Strip. You wouldn't have to worry about walking a half a mile to the platform. But clearly, if you had created a larger tunnel system, it would have competed with the monorail. The monorail, of course, has been closed since March. A majority of its success is usually during large conventions when, people will travel to and from, because it is pretty convenient. And of course, there hasn't been any conventions since March either. And when they will return is anyone's guess. One of the first comments from the LVCVA after purchasing the monorail was that it really only had a lifespan of about 8 to 10 more years. Now, it opened up in 2004 in July. Believe it or not, I wrote it about 10 days after it opened. I didn't realize it had been quite that close to the opening. But, and the cost, and I totally believe this, the cost to sort of refurbish or redo the cars and the track would be prohibitive. So it's very clear that the monorail has a relatively short life. When it has been operational, it has typically lost money. So will the LVCVA simply shut the thing down, or perhaps only run it during major conventions and sort of use it as a stopgap until it can complete its tunnel system? over the next decade? Who knows? And right now, of course, everything is up in the air in Las Vegas, and so we will have to wait and see. But it is interesting. I did ride the monorail on my last trip to Las Vegas, never thinking it might be the last time. How many of us did things like that on our last trip? Speaking of trips, it's just 6 weeks now until Rocktober, a big gathering of Vegas vloggers and the community that surrounds us. And the big event is literally 6 weeks from tonight. And nobody's more excited about Rocktober than our resident mixologist, PJ. He is counting down to Rocktober with a series of 8 shots. This week it is shot number 3. We're going to go to PJ, see what he has for us today, and see what he's wearing. Because that's what everybody wants to know. PJ, what are you wearing?
I can't decide. Do I want to wear the robe? I don't know. This is a pretty nice hoodie. Boy, this is very, very comfortable. I kind of like the robe. You know, it fits really nice. It's very comfy. You know, though, that robe is pretty nice. The robe is pretty nice. I think I'm going to go with the robe. But I kind of like the hoodie.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rocktober. It's going to be a fantastic time in Las Vegas. Now here's PJ with this week's shot.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cocktail of the Week. But as you all know, we're calling this Shot Down to Rocktober. John, how you doing, my friend? How was your week this past week? Hey, great show Wednesday night, History of Las Vegas. Great episode. I like it. I like it very much. Did you guys all catch that? History of Las Vegas. John's going to be bringing you a new show every Wednesday evening. Highly recommend it. If you guys like Vegas, you're going to love some of the history. Nothing wrong with knowing the past, the good old days. I'm kind of waiting for some Rat Pack stuff myself. All right, enough of that. Let's get into today's shot. So how we do that? That's right. We go down to the table and spin the shot glass and see what we're going to be drinking today. Are you guys ready? I know I'm ready. Here we go. Shot down to Rocktober. We've got 2 in the books. Let's go for one more. Are you ready? Great head. We've already done that one. There's only 8. Looks like today's winner is Vampire Bite. The Vampire Bite, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys can read that. Half ounce of Malibu rum, half ounce of peach schnapps, half ounce of vodka. All right, Malibu rum, peach schnapps, and vodka. Hey, we'll be right back. Let me grab those ingredients. We're going to build this drink right in front of you. I've actually traded in my Malibu rum for Cap Morgan's Parrot Bay coconut rum. I've always had Malibu, but I saw the Cap Morgan's and I wanted to give it a try. So today will be the first time we try that. All right, and here we go. We're gonna build those. Let's get this sucker out of the way. Put our shaker in the front. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is doesn't matter the order. We're gonna do a half ounce of schnapps, peach schnapps that is. Peach schnapps, half ounce. Pour that in there. All right, half ounce Malibu rum. I'm sorry, in this case, Parrot Bay coconut rum. Oh, it smells delicious. All right, and a half ounce of vodka. Right, ladies and gentlemen, Vampire Bite. At least there's no tequila in this one. Alrighty, so by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we've had 2 voices. Most of you got the second voice right. I thought that was pretty easy. How about today's voice? Did you pick up on that one? Do you have any idea where this young lady's from? She too has a slot channel. All right, let's do some shaking, shall we? Yeah, let's do it down below. And a little bit more. Let me get this nice and chilled. Also, what do you guys think? The robe or the hoodie? The robe or the hoodie? Leave that in your comment down below on Vegas Tips and Tricks, Vegas Weekly. Alrighty, let's bring the shot glass back in. We're doing the vampire bite. Clear out some of this stuff. John, I'm dragging. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Ooh, this sucker's cold. Yeah, the vampire bite, ladies and gentlemen. There's gonna be enough for another one. Holy cow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, John, here's to Rocktober. Just 41 days, ladies and gentlemen. 41 days. All of these shots are going to be featured in Rocktober. This one's pretty good. The peach schnapps, coconut rum vodka. God, you know, it's really a good drink when you can taste everything. The peach schnapps really sweetens this one up. I think everyone's going to like this one. I didn't know a vampire bite could be that sweet. As always, or so far anyway, 3 shows. We got a little bit left. Don't want it to go to waste. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can all join us in October. I know some of you can't be there, but those of you who can, I look forward to meeting you all. And you know there's going to be a lot of vlogging, live and videos afterwards. Once again, cheers everybody. John, back to you, buddy. Loving the show. Loving the show. Well, I forgot. Hey, if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, please hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below and subscribe to John. Come on, this is great stuff. And plus you get to see me in the robe for 5 more weeks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, please drink responsibly. Peace. John, now back to you, buddy. Can't wait for October. Why not do both? We'll do the hoodie, the robe. What a great fashion statement, huh? Bring on the shots. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Rocktober. It's going to be a great time in Las Vegas. Peace.
Okay, can you tell PJ's a little bit excited about Rocktober? Well, we all are. You may also be a little disturbed. Maybe it's not, maybe JP the apple does not fall that far from the tree. Anyway, PJ will be back again next week with another shot, so we'll look forward to that. In our Vegas Tips and Tricks segment today, if you remember, we started talking about hotels last week, and I have a little trick for possibly getting a heck of a deal on your hotel room / flight. And if people ask me, I always tell them, book your hotel room directly through that property. Or better yet, through the Players Club, if you've played at all. You're going to get, in all likelihood, the best rate. And even more so, when you get to that hotel, if there's any kind of a problem, it falls back on them. If you are booking through a third party of any kind and there's a problem, they're going to refer you back to the third party. And that third party is not sitting in front of you, and it's also not sitting behind you looking very unhappy with a suitcase. That being said, there are instances where booking a package through an airline can be a ridiculously good deal. Now, this will not always be the case. Now, if you have ever been on one of the airline websites, from the biggest and the best to the smallest, you will notice that they all have packages that they offer. Well, it's simple. You know, they make more money off the hotel rooms and the car rentals and those items than they do off the flight itself. So it is there. It's a great money maker for the airlines normally for you to book one of their packages. But it doesn't always work out so well for the airline. And keep in mind that the vacations people is kind of a separate department from the regular airline and its regular booking process. They get a certain number of seats on the flight that they have the opportunity to sell. And in the same way, those companies have an arrangement for the different hotels in Las Vegas where they have essentially a block of rooms set aside that they are able to sell. Now, here's where you come in. Once in a while, they have difficulty moving those rooms or moving those flights. And they have every incentive to continue to sell them, because if they don't sell those rooms, eventually they go back into the room inventory. If they don't sell those seats on the plane, eventually they go back into the flight inventory. And they don't want that. Because guess what? The next time they go to the airline, the next time they go to the hotel, they're going to say, no. You're only getting this many rooms this time because you couldn't sell them. So they have every incentive to move those rooms. Now, if you're planning a trip to Vegas and it's coming up in a few weeks and you're looking and the hotels seem very pricey and the tickets seem very pricey, take a look at the vacation packages. Anecdotally, I have heard of people, and no, it's not friend of a friend, it's friend, who have managed to book a package which included the flight and the hotel for less than it would have cost them to go ahead and just book the flight. That's very rare. However, it is not uncommon, particularly as you get closer and closer to the deadline, to see the air and hotel package only nominally higher than the air alone package. At a certain point, if you're getting a room somewhere for just an extra $50 or $60 over the course of 3 or 4 days, it's probably worth taking the chance. And I would, obviously, unless the room was comped. So there's an opportunity, particularly for last minute or almost last minute trips. Definitely take a look at those vacation packages. You can sometimes score an amazing deal. All right, once again, so much appreciate you guys watching the show. Please like, comment if you haven't subscribed. We'll be back again on Wednesday with our second This Week in Vegas History episode. And if you don't catch us then, make sure you catch us next Saturday. Until then, I hope that you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We will see you soon.